Here we are up at the farm in Li Shan. Today's the last day of harvest for the plots of tea that our source manages. This one is a brand new plot of tea, just over 2 years old, and they just picked from it for the very first time, which everyone says produces a pretty special crop of tea. It's been quite busy up here. Lots of people coming and buying straight from the factory. We drove up yesterday to get our share, and I'm sticking around until these leaves are fully processed and hoping to get some of this. We'll see how it goes. All right, just behind me, the last pickers are coming down from this newly planted plot of tea. They finished harvesting for the very first time from this 2-year-old plot. And we have to carry the leaves down the mountain. I just walked up a good 20 minutes through this forest, and there's no rail like there is on the farm here. So it's huffing it down the mountain. I'm gonna go help out. Can't just stand there watching people work. You gotta join the fun. I got my own little sack of tea here, walking through this beautiful forest. Brand new farm, very first harvest. Privileged life. Woohoo! 新的茶叶来了。
mọi người. Làm gì đều chứ?
Là bố anh, ok.
Đọc ra thì. Hôm bên hay有人吗？
năm nay có quả đâu hay rồi.
没有了。
应该还有。
Okay, it's a moment of truth here. We've been in the factory for over 48 hours and have tasted tea at least 5 times. Several days of harvest over the last week or two. And it's a pretty intense scene. Like, the big tea merchants come up here and taste tea even before it's completely done, being dried and rolled, and say, okay, I want it all, you know. So it's a quick game to be had. So yeah, I've been tracking our source of Li Shan tea for over 2 weeks. First, we were going to come up with them in their car, but he was all over the place, coming up the mountain, down the mountain, and didn't know what the next day would entail. I said, no problem, I'll drive up and hang out. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 days. It's always an intensive learning experience. Great people doing a lot of work over many days. It's pretty intense. They have to get the harvest done as soon as possible once it begins, in order not to let it go too far and the leaves are slightly overgrown. This one on our right, my right, is what was picked yesterday from a brand new farm, first harvest, inaugural crop, and we're really interested to taste it. This will be our first time tasting it. The other 4 are what we chose out of many others, and so we're down to the top 5, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna turn it down and let's have a quick look, and then I'll probably turn off the camera so that we can just keep sipping along. But basically what happens here is 7 grams of dried tea leaves in these standardized tea judging bowls, and this is how we taste it in the factory in order to compare one batch to another. And you're able to see the leaves unfold as they are brewing, which is an indicative the first sign really, about if they have a moisture content, a lot of moisture in them, they will open much more rapidly than if they don't. So if they're dried well, they open slowly and then continue to brew. And then there's all kinds of things that I could talk about how to assess the tea. But first is visually how the leaves open up, and then we will do dipping the spoon into the tea and smelling the back of the spoon. See how the aromatic profile is, comparing each one, and then a few minutes, probably 5 minutes in, we'll start sipping and continue sipping, and maybe even refill the cups, allowing the tea to go from very mild brew to a very strong brew, and see how it goes all through that spectrum. Okay, enough for now, we'll be back. Okay, so after many sips, we're going on various levels of how to choose. A big one of them is where the standardized high mountain tea profile lies. So basically, Our source likes to oxidize their leaves more than most people that make this type of tea, and we like that, and that's why they are our source. But we're going for the lesser oxidized of their days of harvest that we already chose. So we're going to choose one out of these two. This here, the new harvest batch, is really interesting. It's definitely outside of the standardized spectrum of high mountain tea, but it has a lot of flavor. My pretty face in here again. So yeah, like just a lot of things to consider all at once. We're thinking this inaugural batch might be fitting for our tea club, the Ego Cha Tea Club, where we offer singular batches of tea for very specific reasons in order to give people an experience of one specific factor in the tea culture here in Taiwan. Yeah, it's just like quite oxidized, but this floral aftertaste that's quite intriguing. Okay, this is the one we've been choosing consistently all along, so it's got a lot of credentials already. This is a new one. They're really close, but we'll give you the final verdict when we have it. Li Shan High Mountain Oolong Tea Spring 2025 here at the factory, the highest elevation tea factory on Taiwan. That's where they like to make it. They think it has a difference in terms of the climate here and how the leaves respond to the processing. So we feel exclusive, and we are.